Well, the clock may actually be running out on another one of Tiger Woods' endorsements. The Swiss watchmaker Tag Heuer says that it is reassessing its options with Tiger Woods. Now, since Woods' problems, to be fair and sort of kind in the description, problems began emerging the day after Thanksgiving, he's made only a few brief statements through his website, and everyone wants to hear from him directly, just what's going on.
It raises a good question, though. Is he getting good advice from his agent and his lawyers? We're going to ask a man who has counseled numerous athletes and entertainers, including Joe Torre, Dave Winfield. Jeff Klein, a partner at the law firm Weil Gotshal Manges, is right here. Jeff, from a lawyer's point of view, from an agent's point of view, how effectively would you say Tiger's camp has handled all these revelations?
I don't think I would give it a very high grade, but it's easy for us to all sit here in hindsight without any knowledge of the facts. It depends upon what you're dealing with. As a lawyer, your first obligation is to protect your client. That may be inconsistent with what you're doing with respect to the court of public opinion.
Well, what would you be doing, though, if you were advising him?
What I'd be doing is I'd be out in front with my client right away. I'd call it the Andy Pettit strategy. Get out in front, apologize, get the facts straight. This started to come undone when the story started to bump along and we're a little different.
Do you think that the reason we haven't heard directly from Tiger, the reason that the words have been parsed as carefully as they have, just posted via the website, has to do with some of the perhaps morality clauses in some of the contracts that he's signed, or at this point has that worry kind of gone out the window?
I don't think it's gone out the window, but I don't think that's what's driving it. I think what's driving this is what he's prepared to do. Are you prepared to stand up there and say, I'm sorry? What does he look like physically? There are things we just don't know. Everybody's speculating, but nobody really knows what's going on.
You've obviously dealt with the whole endorsement issue before on behalf of your clients. How fatal a blow is this really to Tiger's marketability? We just talked about Tag Heuer, Accenture's out of the picture, Gillette's kind of out of the picture, AT&T is also considering its options.
I think it depends upon the product. For Accenture, that was a brand. Tiger was the brand. They really had no choice. For Nike, it's completely different. Tiger Woods is a golfer. If he plays golf, they're fine. I think the hard part is the uncertainty of not knowing when he'll be back.
To what degree is the question of illegality a factor here? I mean, he didn't do what Michael Phelps was accused of doing in terms of using illegal drugs. I mean, other names out there who've come back, we were talking about this, Darryl Strawberry,
John
others.
Daly, right.
Right. It was a different matter. There were laws that were possibly broken. With Tiger, it purely is a morality issue here. Is there something unique to that in terms of a potential comeback story?
No, I think the issue here is what does Tiger sell's credibility and honesty and performance. And if he can't sell those, his endorsers aren't interested without regard to what a contract says. That's what he has to offer them.
So what kind of image does one cultivate for Tiger going forward? Bad boy of golf?
I don't think that's the image he wanted. In fact, the problem is he cultivated the image with the cocoon and privacy, and now people are skeptically raising questions about the privacy. That may be unfair, but you put yourself out there that way with that image, and you might have a problem. I think he's got to come back and play good golf. That's what ultimately was what he was paid for.
Does the golf come before the interview? I mean, does he have the confessional on TV? What's the strategy that you would recommend?
I'd recommend the confessional last week. The story would have been done. This bumps along now, and this morning there's a story in New Zealand about how family came first. This is going to keep on going until he's able to do this. But in fairness, he's got to decide when he's capable of doing this. His public, his endorsers, and golf fans really come behind what's best for him.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to be cynical for a moment. What's his best play here? To plead sex addiction, find religion, leak some kind of story from close friends saying that it had to do with his father's death? Obviously, you can't downplay that. Or just laying low and say doing volunteer work.
My view is you take the honest approach. You apologize. It's what I would have said to Barry Bonds, and I've been saying for years. If you just stand up and say, I'm sorry, people like a comeback story. Be honest. Look people in the eye. Tell the truth. The rest, people aren't buying.
All right, Jeff, thanks. Great perspective. Jeff Klein is not just a lawyer at Weil Gotshal, but he is also a sports agent, folks, giving us his views on what Tiger Woods can do best next.